There's something deeply disturbing about social media that most people never notice. Not the filters, not the fake smiles, not even the lies. The truly terrifying part is how easily a human being can slowly transform into a performance without realizing it's happening. A few years ago, I met a girl named Ava Sinclair, and online, she looked untouchable. Millions of followers, luxury brands, beautiful vacations, perfect relationships, perfect skin, perfect apartment. Every photo looked cinematic. Every caption sounded emotional and intelligent. People were obsessed with her. Girls wanted to become her. Men wanted to date her. Brands paid millions to use her face. She looked like proof that happiness existed somewhere in the world. But the first time I met her in real life, I felt something was wrong immediately. It happened at a rooftop party in Los Angeles. Music was loud. Everyone was filming everything. People were laughing too hard, smiling too hard. The entire place felt artificial, like nobody there was actually experiencing the moment. They were documenting it, recording themselves pretending to live. And in the middle of all that noise, Ava was sitting alone near the edge of the rooftop, staring at the city lights, completely silent, which made no sense, because online, she looked like the loudest person in the world, but in real life, she looked emotionally exhausted. At one point, she watched a couple beside us spend almost 15 minutes trying to record the perfect candid laugh for social media. Then she quietly said, "Do you know what's terrifying? Most people don't even know what their real personality looks like anymore." I laughed nervously, thought she was joking, but she kept staring at the city while speaking. They know how to perform emotions. They know how to look attractive. They know how to look interesting online. But if you take away the audience, most people have no idea who they are. That sentence stayed in my head for weeks, because deep down, I knew exactly what she meant. Everywhere around us, people were turning themselves into brands, editing their personalities, rehearsing reactions, designing fake lifestyles, turning emotions into content. And the scarier part, the internet rewarded it. A few weeks later, Ava and I became closer, and slowly, she started telling me things nobody else knew, like how she hadn't slept properly in almost 2 years, how she checked her engagement numbers obsessively every morning before even getting out of bed, how one bad post could ruin her entire mental state for days. At first, I thought it was just pressure from fame, but then one night, she showed me something that genuinely disturbed me. A hidden folder on her laptop. Inside were thousands of photos, not different photos, the same photo, over and over and over again. The same smile repeated hundreds of times with microscopic differences, a slightly different angle, a slightly different laugh, a slightly different expression. She looked at me and whispered, "Do you know how many attempts it takes to fake happiness convincingly?" I didn't answer, because suddenly, the entire internet started feeling horrifying. Ava told me she spent almost 7 hours a day maintaining her online identity, editing imperfections, analyzing comments, watching trends, studying what version of herself people loved most. And slowly, without noticing it, she started becoming that version permanently. People liked her more when she acted confident, so eventually, she stopped showing vulnerability completely. People loved luxury, so she started spending money she didn't even have just to maintain the illusion. People engaged more when she looked emotionally mysterious, so eventually, even in real life, she became emotionally distant. And that's when she said something I'll never forget. At some point, I stopped asking myself who I really was. I only cared about who people wanted me to be. That sentence genuinely scared me, because it didn't just describe influencers. It described almost everyone online. People changing themselves for approval, building personalities around validation, filtering every thought through the question, will people like this version of me? Then one night around 3 a.m., Ava called me crying. Not normal crying, panic. I drove to her apartment immediately, and honestly, it looked less like a home and more like a content factory. Professional lights everywhere, cameras, outfits, props, an entire apartment designed for performance. She was sitting on the kitchen floor holding her phone with shaking hands. I asked her what happened. She turned the screen toward me. One paparazzi photo. No makeup, no editing, no filters. Just Ava looking exhausted outside a pharmacy. And the internet was destroying her for it. Millions of comments mocking her appearance, calling her fake, calling her washed, saying she looked dead inside. And suddenly, she started laughing while crying, then whispered, "They're finally seeing the real me, and they hate it." That moment genuinely disturbed me, because the internet had spent years worshipping a version of her that never existed. And now, the moment reality appeared, people became cruel instantly. That's when Ava finally understood the darkest truth about social media. Followers don't love people, they love emotional fantasy. Weeks passed after that, and Ava became worse, more paranoid, more disconnected, more emotionally numb. She admitted something terrifying one night. Sometimes she accidentally smiled in real life, even when nobody was around. Not because she felt happy, because her brain had become trained to perform automatically. Then she said something that honestly kept me awake for days. "I think I destroyed my real personality trying to create a better one." And maybe that's the real psychological horror of social media. Not jealousy, not addiction, identity replacement. The slow death of the authentic self. A few days later, Ava disappeared completely, deleted every account, canceled every sponsorship, vanished overnight. The internet lost its mind. People created conspiracy theories. Fake sightings appeared everywhere. Videos analyzing her disappearance went viral. And honestly, that part disturbed me too, because millions of strangers mourned losing access to content, without realizing they never knew the real human being behind it. A month later, I received one final message from her. Only one sentence. After years of becoming someone everyone loved, I realized I no longer recognized myself when I looked in the mirror. I still think about that sentence constantly, because maybe that's what social media is slowly doing to people, teaching them to sacrifice authenticity for validation, teaching them to trade identity for attention. And the terrifying part? Most people don't even realize it's happening. They think they're expressing themselves online, but sometimes they're slowly deleting themselves instead.